It's almost 2025 and Firewall Ultra is still undeniably the best PvP first-person tactical shooter on PSVR2.
Doesn't get smoother than that. Operation success. Payment is on its way.
Can't change.
That's how we do it.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome if you're new. Today I wanted to take a few minutes to talk to you guys about my favorite PSVR2 PvP first-person shooter, Firewall Ultra. And the main reason I'm doing this video is because, as I'm sure you all noticed, there is a wave of newcomers to PSVR2 thanks to the recent Black Friday massive discounts, and many of those probably don't know anything about this game, which is really unfortunate because, like I said, in my opinion, this is the best PvP first-person tactical shooter on the platform. Now I'm sure there will be some PSVR2 veterans in the comments section who disagree with this statement, and that's okay. This is not an echo chamber. All opinions are welcome as long as we keep it civil. So let's talk first about why is it that Firewall Ultra is such a divisive game. Like literally, you can find someone like me who tells you that this game is the best, and in the very next second, someone else will show up and tell you that it is the worst VR shooter they have ever played. Well, the way I see it, it comes down to this. There are two types of VR gamers. The first type wants nothing but pure VR mechanics in their VR games, and if you, as a VR developer, don't provide that for them, they will be extremely disappointed and they will never give your game a chance. That's the first type. The second type also loves VR mechanics, but at the same time, they don't mind if your VR game has some flat mechanics in it as long as the game is good. Now I want you to know that there is no right and wrong in this. Both types are absolutely entitled to their preferences, and they can coexist without any issues. But what does this have to do with Firewall Ultra? I'm glad you asked. Because you see, while Firewall Ultra is overall a great game, it doesn't really have much of those pure VR mechanics that we talked about. Yes, this is still a VR game, but it also has a lot of flat mechanics like opening doors with button presses. And that is why fundamentally it's not going to appeal to everyone. It's certainly not going to appeal to those who do not want to see flat mechanics in a VR game. It won't matter to them if it's literally the best looking, most engaging PvP shooter on PSVR2. They just won't care, which is fine. But if you're new to PSVR2, or if you fall into the second type that I just told you about, the type that simply wants a good game regardless if it has the best VR mechanics out there or not, then there is a very, very high chance this will become your most played PSVR2 game in no time. You see, there are a few decent PvP shooters on PSVR2, just a few, not as many as some people make it seem, to be honest. I mean, other than Firewall Ultra, there are like 3 decent FPS games that I can see myself playing. There is Pavlov, which is great, Breachers, which is okay, and Alvo, which is like meh, but other than that, there is really not that much. So why is Firewall Ultra the best? Well, let's see. A, it's the best looking FPS game. I don't think anyone can argue with this. The game looks on par with the other best looking PSVR2 games. The resolution is high, textures are high quality, the shadows, the light effects, the maps, everything looks so damn good. It's a visual showcase, it really is. B, the shooting feels so good, whether you're using a pistol, an SMG, a shotgun, or an assault rifle, the shooting is always on point and the haptic feedback and adaptive triggers are just the cherry on top. C, the round-based tactical gameplay is incredible. This game is heavily inspired by Rainbow Six Siege and it shows. This is probably one of the most important aspects that make Firewall Ultra stand out from the competition, and why it has such a passionate, loyal community. It relies so heavily on communication. This is not Call of Duty. You can't just shoot your way to victory. I mean, technically you can if you're that good, but I highly doubt it. So in Firewall Ultra, you need to communicate with your teammates, and you need to have a clear strategy to win, which obviously elevates realism and the immersion to a whole new level, and this leads me to reason D, the community. I've played so many online games on PSVR2 at this point, and I am now fully convinced that Firewall Ultra has the best, most welcoming community. Everyone here is so chill and so respectful. I don't remember any time I witnessed people arguing or screaming at each other. On the contrary, people are always having a good time, telling jokes, laughing, and working together to reach that laptop or defend it. So if you're new to PSVR2, I promise you, you won't find a better community than this one. And finally, the last thing that makes Firewall Ultra the best PvP tactical shooter on PSVR2 has to be the audio. The soundtrack and the sound design in general is awesome. It is so good, and it adds so much to the experience like you wouldn't believe it. Firewall Ultra players will get this, but nothing feels better than finishing off your enemy when the music hits at the end of the round.
Venga, el fisio. Venga, venga, venga. Sí, sí, pero este no va a ir a levantarte.
But of course, it can't be all rainbows and sunshines, right? And no, I'm not talking about the fact that there will be no additional content. Because if you played Ultra, you would know that there is plenty of content on offer, so it's really not an issue. I'm talking about the fact that if you choose to buy this game, unfortunately you will not be able to play it at any given time. This is an online PSVR2 only game, plus it's not the most popular online PSVR2 game out there. So if you plan to play with randoms, you're gonna have to find the peak hours for your region, otherwise, it's just gonna be you with a shooting range. In my experience, if you live in Europe or in the US and hop in between 6 and 10 PM GMT, you will have no trouble finding matches, so keep that in mind. And yeah guys, that's gonna have to do it for this video. Just wanted to let the newcomers know that there is a great PvP shooter on PSVR2 that they really shouldn't sleep on. If you enjoyed this video and for more PSVR2 news, reviews and discussions, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button and turn on the notifications. Let me know in the comments what you think about Firewall Ultra, and I'll see you guys in the next video, but until then, take care.